if we gave to Diablo 4 because they gave you damage on Tuesdays, why are we not giving to them for all these conditionals for support gems? It is too much. I think there is a big problem with support gems in Path of Exile 2. And not necessarily with the system of how support gems work. That is fucking awesome. And that has been awesome since it was imagined in PoE 1, right? Where you modify your skill with support gems. That is fucking awesome. And also, not all support gems have this problem that I am going to talk about. A lot of them are cool. But you will see that a lot of the support gems are complete and total bullshit, how it was in Diablo 4 stats. When Diablo 4 launched, we had these modifiers on gear. And people complained a lot about this because it was annoying and it was stupid and forced Blizzard to change it, right? And the 4 is bad, right? And Blizzard were forced to change it, and a meme was born out of that, which is the damage on Tuesdays meme that Blizzard also recognized by. Sometimes you can see the developers on some videos or interviews wearing the t-shirt that says damage on Tuesdays, right? Okay, you can see here stuff like damage while shape-shifted, damage while wearer, damage while werewolf. All of those could just be one, damage while shape-shifted. It was bullshit. But then I want to present you things in the support gems in PoE 2 that are not only as bullshit, but even more bullshit than that. One, there are many like those. Dude. Look at this shit. Supports attacks you use yourself, causing them to consume the parry debuff on hit to grant you a frenzy charge. Cannot support skills which already consume the parry buff. Too many fucking conditionals, dude. People will go and why is this a problem? This is a problem because you have 300 fucking support gems and people gravitate towards the same 30 support gems because those are the ones that are fucking useful and don't have this many conditions and actually do something immediate for you. That is a problem, that you are creating a lot of support gems and they are going to the void because people don't want to use this because they suck dick. Look at this shit. Supports melee attack skills. Supported skills apply easy target. Don't know what the fuck that is. When knocking back enemies, causing the next projectile attack hit they take to deal increased damage. So you have to attack with a melee skills and you have to knock back the dude to be able to get the buff for the next projectile you throw. So again, trying to incentivize the hybrid shit. If it is a condition and it's weak, no one will use it. Exactly. If you are going to condition me to jump through all these hoops to use a shit, it has to be really fucking strong. But sometimes, if I can get a similar result with a different support gem that doesn't require from me having to do all this shit, I will pick that one 10 out of 10 times. Even if I get 5% less damage, but I can do it right away without all these many conditions. That is what I am trying to say. Look at this shit. Supports slam skills you use yourself. Hits from supported skills are considered crushing blows against enemies which are both ignited and fully armor broken. Hits with supported skills that heavily stun ignited and fully armor broken enemies will intimidate them. Motherfucker, you need to really read this shit to even understand what is happening in here. You have to use a slam skill yourself, not your totem. It has to hit. And it can be a crushing blow, so you have to have a build that is interested in crushing blows, which means heavy stunning targets. But you have to have previously ignited and fully armor broken them all. If you heavy stun the ignited and fully armor broken dude, then you will intimidate it. What the fuck is it? It is too much, dude. It is too fucking much. I have to ignite this motherfucker, break this motherfucker's armor, use a slam skill, and I will crushing blow it. And I have to guess that if you want to crushing blow it, it's because you are building something that takes advantage of crushing blows and heavy stunning. It is too fucking much. But then people like, you know what is one of the most used gems in the whole fucking game? This one. Supported skill, still 25% more damage, more weapon elemental damage. Everybody uses this fucking gem. One of the most used gems in the fucking game. Why? There is no condition in here. The only condition is you do elemental damage. That is a condition. Everybody uses this shit. Hey, deal 25% more weapon elemental damage. Cool as fuck. I don't have to do anything. People will gravitate toward this more if you create another one that says deal 35% more weapon elemental damage, but the target has to be shock, ignited, and what is the other one? Frozen. People will still prefer this one because then you have to jump through all the hoops to get the other one. Do you understand what I am trying to say, dude? So what I'm trying to say is that they are going for fucked up shit that, brother, like there are a lot of good ones, but there are a lot of bullshit that I don't understand why they are doing this. And in my opinion, they have to fix it, dude. And there are too many that are related to fucking parry. Nobody wants to parry, motherfucker. Nobody wants to parry. So, if we gave shit to Diablo 4 because they gave you damage on Tuesdays, why are we not giving shit to them for all these fucking conditionals for support gems? It is too much. And I have defended in the past abilities having a downside, or skills or passive points or whatever having a downside, because having a downside forces you to do the skill. For example, if I come to the game, this is the example I give all the time because it is really easy to understand. There are people that don't like notes like this one that say 1% reduce attack speed, 50% increase damage. They say, hey, take away the 1% reduce attack speed. Why are you slowing me down? I understand the philosophy behind having downsides with upsides. Because if you only give me an upside, I am going to take it 100% of the time. Because there is no downside, right? And the perfect thing is this one, Resolute Technique. Your hits can be evaded, but then it tells you never deal critical hits. This is the perfect example. If you remove the never deal critical hits, and the only thing it said was your hits can be evaded, you pick this 100% of the time because your hits can be evaded. It has to have a downside. And then they say never deal critical hits. Now you have to think about it. So I am not against having downsides. What I am saying is that support gems right now have too many requirements, too many conditions, too many sometimes downsides, doing less damage or whatever for being able to do another shit. It is too much. You need to simplify this shit. I am okay with having downsides and having to decide what I want, but you are doing it too fucking much, dude. I don't disagree with you, but I also think that people are in the mindset where they want every support to be usable when they're not even playing the build that uses it. Maybe some people are thinking like that. I am not one of those. That is not what I am advocating for. It is that there are builds where you are supposed to use it and you still don't use it because it sucks. Now you understand what I am trying to say, Sixy. I am using a build that is supposed to use this support gem, but it is so convoluted, so bullshit, and so underpowered too that I don't use it. Because there is another choice, that is another better choice that is not as fucked up. So what you end up doing is that you have 300 fucking support gems and everybody is using the same 20, 30, 40 support gems. Why the fuck spend time designing all these support gems? We were excited about the new 100 support gems, but out of the new 100 support gems, how many of them are we actually using? Not that many, dude. Not that many. Yeah, but isn't this oversimplified? Isn't it going to be? Yes, I agree with you, Ace. That is why I explain later that that is not what we want. I still want some kind of complexity, but right now it is too fucking much. It is too fucking much. Yeah, support gems are way too convoluted and intentionally made to pester players. Sometimes, yeah. That sounds like a balance issue, not simplification. Though, right? It is both. It has a balance issue. But when you put 3 conditionals, you have to parry the dude. The dude has to be ignited. The attack that you are going to use has to be a projectile. You are applying 3 fucking conditions. You are narrowing down the specific case when you will be able to actually take advantage of this thing. That is no longer balance. That is design. That is design space. That is not balance. Players also won't even try the gem to see how good it is because of what you said. They'd rather lose 10% damage if everything gave immediate effect. Exactly, of course. Every build that don't use crits is taking this every time with literally no downside. Exactly. Exactly. And that is the point of using it. Because I am not going for crits. I will take it. But if you are going for crits, then you don't take it. That is the point. But if it didn't say never deal critical hits, both type of builds will take it. Builds that crit and builds that don't crit. Everybody will take it. So right now the condition is, well, I am doing a build that I don't need crits, I will take it. Right? That is the way it is supposed to work. It's so confusing because PoE 1 gems had all inherent downsides, but it's worth using and working around its issues. I don't know why they didn't even plug in some of those in the game. It is worth to mention, by the way, that some of these support gems might suck because they are planning to introduce other stuff in the future that uses them, right? That complements with them, and we still don't know. For example, there is a sword ability that takes advantage of one support gem that exists right now that nobody uses, but that sword ability is going to use it, right? Just throwing an idea out there. And that kind of fixes the problem. But still, I am aiming at the thing that this... I want to narrow down the problem, right? Like what I am really trying to say is there are a lot of gems that have too many conditionals. It is a pain in the ass to accomplish what the support gem is asking of you. It is annoying and people don't want to do it. And it is akin to the affixes that were on gear on Diablo 4, and Blizzard got a bunch of bullshit because of having those affixes. Deservedly so, because it sucked. But nobody's saying it about the support gems in PoE 2. A lot of them are fine and cool and dandy, even with conditionals. I am not against conditionals entirely. I am not against downsides. I am telling you that I like that they have downsides. Conditionals, if it is one conditional, it is fine. It also depends. You can give me 2, but they are easy to apply. But if you are giving me 3 conditionals and one of them is to fucking parry, it is fucking bullshit, dude. If it is only parry, okay, maybe. Parry still sucks, but okay, only parry. But I have to parry and I have to do this other shit and this other shit. It is too much. So fundamentally, the design, in my opinion, makes it so that the amount of people using this support gem is going to be really fucking low. People don't want to do this shit, brother. My build doesn't focus on crit, so I am taking that with no downside. And that is the way to go, dude. That is the way to go. Yeah, the monster is probably dead before you can even benefit from some of these support gems. Exactly what I'm trying to say. So should every build be able to use everything? No, that is not the argument that I am making at all. The argument that I am making is that support gems are too convoluted. Some support gems, not all of them, are too convoluted and has too many conditionals. That doesn't mean that I am not talking about builds that have to use every support gem all the time. Doesn't have anything to do with that. Like I've said, all the gem PoE 1 have downsides, but the upside should be worth working around. Exactly. I honestly will use both the effect for the reward for the condition, not simplify all of them. That is a good thing for the ones that the condition is not that of a pain in the ass. But as I show you, there are some of them that the condition is insane, motherfucker. Look at this shit. Nobody's going to use this because no one wants to be stationary unless you give something like channeling that you have to be stationary. Supports a skill you use yourself which can cause damaging hits. Supported skills cannot be used unless you have been stationary for a certain duration, but deal increasingly more damage the longer you are stationary. Nobody wants to be stationary. Cannot support skills which have a reservation, a trigger, have a cooldown, or have another usage condition. This is too much. This is too fucking much. Yes, it will still be a pain in the ass, but if you were to fulfill all the requirements and the outcome was awesome for doing a combo, wouldn't that make it feel good better? It will be better than how it is right now, but it will still suck because I have been telling you guys this for a long time. People choose the path of least resistance. If you can get a build that can give you 90% of the damage of that build, people are going to go to that one because they don't have to go through all this shit. And that is in the perfect case scenario where the thing that you are saying is the most broken shit. By the time I am meeting all these fucking conditions, the mobs are fucking dead. The contrary, Dre, the contrary, it reduces build variety, dude. Because nobody's going to play that shit. That is what I am trying to say. This type of design reduces build variety. People don't want to do that shit. Even if you make the payoff one-shot a mob, by the time you actually get to the payoff, they are already dead. And you can do it easier with a different build. Why bother? Nobody's going to do it. And when I say nobody, I don't mean literally nobody. I mean, statistically speaking, out of the 100% of players, 98% of players are not going to be willing to do that shit. That is what I actually mean. Of course, there are going to be people out there that, oh, look at this looks fun, I am going to do it. Not the rule, that is the exception. I agree 100% with this. I have played from the start of early access and I'm somewhat familiar with the gems, but some of them turn you off or even trying them out because of how convoluted they appear. Yep, you don't even want to try it sometimes. Too many conditionals, dude. Look at this shit. Supports any skill you use yourself causing supported skills to detonate volatility. What the fuck is volatility? That is present on you. Supported skills can only be used while you have a certain amount of volatility and cannot support skills which already have another condition, does not support trigger gems. Too convoluted, don't simplify it. I am not saying that all gems need to be fucking primal armament. I use primal armament as an example of a simple gem. I am not saying that all gems need to be fucking primal armament. What I am saying is that too convoluted also sucks. There are gems with one condition. For example, is this one of the ignition? No, this is not the one. Let me see if I can find Immolate, I believe. This one. This is a good condition. Check this out. Supported skills cannot ignite, but supported attacks gain 30% of damage as extra fire damage against ignited enemies. Hey, this has two conditions even. That you cannot ignite with this ability, but to take advantage of the skill, the mob has to be ignited. Which means you have to use a different ability to ignite the mob first, and then the ability with Immolate will actually get the extra damage. This is conditional, but it is not as convoluted. It's easy to understand, easy to implement. The payoff is a good payoff. This is a good gem. I am not against that, guys. It is that sometimes they go fucking overboard like the damage on Tuesday's bullshit. That is the argument being made in here. And that makes it so people don't want to use those. It is a waste of space in the game. Nobody's going to use this shit. You are wasting development time on this shit. That is my argument. That is my argument. And yes, maybe it improves when they release more stuff. But still, it is too much, dude. Make it more like Immolate and everything will be fine. Just sounds like different levels of complexity. That is one axis. But there are... Brother, the axis is imagine you. Imagine yourself playing the shit. Having to do 4 different things so that a support gem does something is not fun. It is annoying. No, it doesn't make rules for niche builds because people are not going to use it. It creates the opposite effect. People gravitate more towards the builds that are actually fun and not annoying. What if there's uniques that set it up easy? That is what I say that, hey, maybe they introduce other stuff that makes it better, right? Like abilities, uniques, stuff that makes you using. Okay, cool. But there are many of them that are fucking bullshit, dude. I don't disagree with that. It's like how most people don't make their own builds. They just follow a guide. It's easier that. Yeah, but even me, I am trying to make my own build right now. And I don't go for the fucking convoluted gems because they are too fucking conditional. It is easier to go for the stuff that is not conditional and gives you a good similar result. That is what I'm trying to say. It is a purpose of design. Make them less convoluted, but not because of complexity, but because of annoyance at the time of playing the character. Brother, people have been complaining that the game is too slow, that this is annoying, that other thing is annoying. Some people like parrying, but a lot of people think parrying is annoying. And you have a bunch of support gems that focus on the annoying part. People are not going to like it. And people are not complaining about that because there are support gems that are good and they are sticking with those and it makes everything good. But they are not thinking that there are 250 other support gems that nobody's using because they suck dick. Some because of balance, some because of complexity, some because of conditionals. Not all of them are for the same reasons. But you understand what I'm trying to say. You say, but everyone doesn't want to go to the easiest route. Yes, but I told you earlier that it was about the stats. 98% of the player base is not going to do that. Why are you building something for 1% of the player base? It is fucking stupid. It is a waste. If you are building this convoluted shit that is taking away development time and it is more complicated than the simpler stuff, it requires more time so that one motherfucker enjoys it, that is not worth it. That is not worth it. I don't mind making rules for more niche builds, honestly. It depends. It depends. Like, I would say that this shit I am playing with the ballista is a niche build. It doesn't need those fucking skill support gems that are... You can make niche builds without... This is not a binary. You can make niche builds without having to have 5 fucking conditionals on a support gem. I don't understand how it was bad for fucking Diablo 4 to give you damage while shapeshifted, damage while welder, and damage while werewolf. This was bad. But having 4 conditionals in a support gem is not bad. What the fuck of the world am I living in? Where am I? Both are bad. Both suck dick. There are a lot of the 100 new support gems they introduced that suck. And not because of balancing or damage. They fundamentally suck in design. And I love this fucking game. You guys know. I defended the patch when everybody was batching on it. I got hate because I was defending the game. I still think that a lot of it is well designed and it is the best fucking game ever. But you whatever fucking convince me, these fucking support gems with 4 conditionals is good fucking design. It will happen.